Oldsmobile Rocket 88, the original V8 legend. Let's take a roaring journey back to 1949, folks. The world was shedding the gray overcoat of the war years and slipping into something a bit more vivacious. And then came the Oldsmobile Rocket 88, striding onto the automotive stage like a rock star at a post-apocalyptic Woodstock. This wasn't just a vehicle, it was the very genesis of what we now know as the musclecar. In an era dominated by humdrum, this car screamed, "Pants to that!" Under that elongated bonnet, you'd find a 303 cubic inch V8 that boasted a towering 135 horsepower. If this doesn't make your eyelids flip with glee, nothing will. This engine wasn't merely placed in the chassis. It was slotted in with the same kind of precision used by a master chef, sprinkling chili flakes on a gourmet pizza. The Rocket V8 was ahead of its time, turning basic conveyance into an adrenaline-pumping experience. When the Oldsmobile Rocket 88 hit the streets, it was like Zeus had thundered down from Olympus, handed over the keys, and said, "Have a go at this." Speaking of hitting the streets, the Rocket 88 blitzed from 0 to 60 faster than you could chain smoke a packet of Lucky Strikes. It was the speed king in a kingdom filled with lethargic giants. This car didn't just turn heads, it twisted them clean off. It redefined what it meant to go fast, leaving a blaze of rubber and wide-eyed admirers in its wake. At the dragstrips, it ruled supreme, a monarch in chrome and steel. Now, let's avoid waxing too lyrical about handling. The Rocket 88 cornered with all the elegance of an inebriated elephant. But who cared? Not me. You didn't choose this car to neatly navigate roundabouts. You chose it because straight-line speed made you feel like Phileas Fogg, but with a much cooler ride. Basically, Oldsmobile had handed you a rocket, and rockets don't bother with trivial things like corners. They simply launch. Inside, the Rocket 88 was a clash of opulence and Spartan practicality. You had wide, sumptuous seats and a dashboard that would make an Art Deco enthusiast weak at the knees. However, it was also straightforward, focused on the joy of driving rather than pointless gadgets. This was 1949. The most sophisticated bit of tech was the push-button radio. But when you mashed your foot to the floor, who cared? You were soaring. Culturally, the Rocket 88 was off the scale. This car didn't just transport you, it elevated you. It influenced an entire generation of gearheads and even inspired one of the first rock and roll hits, Jackie Brenston and his Delta Cats Rocket 88. It was more than a car. It was a musical muse, a pop culture figure, and an engineering marvel, all wrapped into one. So why does this 70-year-old beast still burn rubber in the imagination of car enthusiasts today? Because it was built in an age of brass and swagger. It was a time when style far outstripped substance, and the journey was more important than the destination. The Oldsmobile Rocket 88 wasn't built for the morning commute. It was built for the joyrides that made life worth living. In a world now obsessed with efficiency and autonomy, the Rocket 88 stands as a towering monument to the days of gasoline-soaked glory. This car wasn't just a pioneer, it was the very essence of the automotive dream. It roared, it sped, it conquered, and it became legend. If you're captivated by the legends of the road and live for high-octane thrills, hit that like button. Subscribe to Autoicons, and let's relive the glory days of speed and style. Keep the legacy of the Rocket 88 alive one rev at a time. Join us for more exhilarating stories.